Hey, what's up, everyone? This is going to be a quick review of Pro Wrestling Noah's Genesis in Germany. This show actually took place, or it was co-promoted with WXW, and it came off really good. It came off awesome. Honor Hammer reviewed the show, and ever since he talked about it, I've been dying to see it. One of the top 5 shows of the year, one of the best double main events of the year. Don't sleep on the show. You could actually pick it up from smartmarkvideo.com. And very rarely can you buy a Noah show with the DVD packaging. So it's pretty cool to have in the collection. And I think the selling point for the show was, we finally get to see the Noah talent away from Japan, and getting the chance to, perform in front of a different atmosphere. Uh, and I think this WXW crowd in Germany, for my personal taste, I think they're probably the best crowd in professional wrestling. Because they just have that real. I've talked about this before, like really, rowdy, raucous, heavy metal mosh pit type of atmosphere, and they're very knowledgeable too. They're knowledgeable about ROH talent and Japanese talent. So, yeah, the show came off great. So I'm just going to talk about the really, really good stuff for the show. I'll make this nice, short, and sweet. But make no mistake about it, from top to bottom, I think everything was at least good on the show. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Taiji Ishimori. This is a really, really good match. It kind of had the same effect that a Roderick Strong and Nakajima match had from Supercard of Honor 4. Definitely that short but really captivated the audience. So this came off really well. My only complaint with the show was it was not really a complaint, it's just a suggestion. Maybe they should have had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nakajima, because Nakajima and Zack, they really remind me of each other. When I first saw Zack Sabre Jr. live, the first thought that went through my head was, wow, this guy kind of reminds me of Nakajima a little bit. So, maybe, if this was the first time or only time that WXW and Noah were going to co-promote a show together, maybe that would have been the better choice. But take nothing away from Ishimori. Ishimori is extremely athletic, and, he came to play. He looked awesome here. Pulled out the 450 splash. He did the Chijiri move, which came off really nice. And Zack, I would say Zack is definitely, probably the non probably the biggest non-Japanese talent overseas that I think people want to see brought in the Ring of Honor. And I don't think, because he's so young right now, and at the same time he's really not that established, so maybe it wouldn't be too expensive to bring him in from time to time. I definitely think he could bring a lot of life to the very, very dull undercard scene in Ring of Honor right now. So, but like I said, the finish to this match came off really realistic. It definitely had a lot of realism to it. Some people might not like the finish, but like I said, I thought this was a nice, solid, short and sweet 3.5-star match. All right, so Big Van Walter versus Taniguchi. Big Van Walter is a really, really big, fatter dude. He's actually the WXW Unified Champion, and yeah, him and Taniguchi had a pretty solid match. I think he could definitely go for his size. I mean, this was just okay to pretty good. But Taniguchi, a lot of people are really high on him right now. Personally, for me, I haven't seen a lot of him. He really hasn't been showcased in Noah that much to me, like in a lot of high-profile singles matches. I just haven't really seen him mix it up that much with some of the bigger guys in Noah. But this came up pretty well. Big Van Walter and Sami Callihan had that great match at the 16 Karat Gold tournament. So Big Van Walter, definitely check him out. He could definitely go for his size. So this came off pretty well. Next up we have Ricky Marvin versus Nakajima. This was awesome. Obviously, Nakajima is the story of the match. Ricky Marvin's good. I think he's hit or miss. I think if you put him in the ring with a Kenta or a guy like Nakajima, I definitely think you could get a 4-star, maybe even a 4.5-star match out of him. So I think he's pretty good. But Nakajima, man, I definitely agree. I think the guy is awesome. He keeps on improving. Year by year by year. I mean, it's scary to think how good this guy's going to be when he's like 27, 28. I mean, he's only 22 right now, I think. And, he just has a shitload of experience. I mean, I think I think he was only 17 years old when he had that 5-star match with, I think it was him and Kensuke versus Kabashi and Shiozaki. So, I mean, the guy's just going to keep getting better. He just kicked the shit out of Ricky Marvin here. Marvin pulled out a lot of cool things, but, Nakajima's kicks and his the crispness and the viciousness of his kicks is what really put this match over the top. Just a really sick finish with Nakajima kicking the shit out of Ricky Marvin's sternum. So I thought that came off really well. All right, next we have Bad Bones versus Go Shiozaki. Bad Bones I've seen him before a couple times, mix it up with Sekimoto, and I've seen him a couple times. I'm not a huge fan of him. He's big, he's bald, and he could go. I think he's alright. He actually dropped Shiozaki on his head a couple times in this match. So the match had a little bit of drama. He actually came. Pretty interesting thing is he actually came out to Jericho's Fozzy music. So I think that speaks volumes about how successful Jericho's become as a musician. But yeah, that was just a side note. But the actual match, it was pretty good. I'm happy for Shiozaki. He's finally defeated Sugiura to be the GHC heavyweight champion. So I'm glad he gets another shot as the champion. I know a lot of people thought they took it away from him a little bit too soon last time he was the champion. So I just think there's a whole plethora of matches that will be fresh matchups for Shiozaki. From top to bottom. I just think there's a shitload of matches that people want to see because obviously a lot of people thought Sugiura's title reign got stale. Even though I would have liked to see Sugiura mix it up with a couple other guys before he actually did drop the belt. But all right. So let me move on to the epic match. We have Chris Hero versus Kenta. Back on ROH and HDNet, they probably have one of the best matches in the history of HDNet. I probably put it like at number 2 or number 3. Some people might even say the greatest. But I thought this was even better than their HDNet match. I think Hero has evolved and is even better since then. Back at that time, Hero was just starting to get in shape. That's when he finally started to take his shirt off. But Hero's conditioning is definitely at another level in this match. The crowd was great. I would definitely say Hero is definitely the more over guy in the match. Hero's been wrestling in Germany for I guess almost like 10 years now. So he was definitely mad. He's just madly over with the German audience. So that was really cool. But Kenta, Kenta really hasn't done a lot this year. But besides the match he had with Takayama back in January, I mean, he really hasn't done shit as far as match quality goes since he's turned heel. So it was great to see. And like I said, man, if you put Kenta in the ring with somebody, one of the main event type of players from ROH, and just let him go out there and show what he could do, I mean, you're guaranteed at least something amazing. So this is why I keep on stressing bringing Kenta in the Ring of Honor. It's just guaranteed greatness. So I would just love to see it again. But yeah, Hero and Kenta, great crowd. Like I said, even better than their HDNet match. This had like the type of feel to it where it was just like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I mean, they just you could just feel the hatred in this matchup, and the match kind of rubs off on you in a way too. So I thought it came off really, really well. There was actually a sequence in the match where Hero was actually impersonating Kobashi. He actually goes like, Kenta Kobashi, and then the crowd was like, Kenta's gonna kill you. So Kenta got pissed off about that, and so like I said, 4.5 stars, came off really, really well. It's pretty much all I can say about it. Definitely the match of the night, and definitely one of the more slept-on matches of the year. It's definitely a match of the year candidate. All right, next up we had Claudio Castagnoli challenging Takashi Sugiura for the GHC Heavyweight Championship. This was great. This was definitely one of Sugiura's better GHC Heavyweight Championship matches to date, which I think is saying a lot. I would say this is probably arguably top 5. Watching this match, I'm going to say that Claudio has gotten so good. I would actually say that maybe he surpassed Nigel as far as being a better overall wrestler. I think it's that possible, and it's a shame that Nigel's not in Ring of Honor anymore, because I think with Claudio and Nigel on the top of their game, I think that would have been just an awesome matchup. But yeah, Sugiura, once again, I don't know, man. I think Sugiura was a great champion. I really, the guy rarely has he disappointed me whenever you put him in the ring with someone that could definitely go. And sweet spot in the match. Claudio tried to do a Ricola bomb, and Sugiura countered it into a Hurricane Rana. That came off really, really well. I think Claudio actually gave Sugiura a pile driver. The finish, I know AMC-N1 talked about the angle slam, the Olympic slam, kind of getting played out, how it doesn't really have the effect that it used to have for Sugiura. I think you could just blame it a lot on even Kurt Angle too. When Angle just uses it time and time again, we've just seen so many people kick out of it. Like the crowd just doesn't buy into that as a near fall anymore. So that was part of the problem with the match. But take nothing away from this match. This match definitely delivered. Um, awesome double main event. So I can't really recommend this show enough. So hopefully you guys will definitely check it out. All right, take it easy.